Hello, welcome to the self-learning podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start discussion on Unit 21, Changing Occupational Structure and Impact of Economic Liberalization. Consider a few things. Equity research opportunity for CAs and MBAs. Telemarketing executives required a technical writer, needed a compliance executive, wanted a customer care executive. These are a few types of job opportunities published every day in newspapers on all days of the week. Every Sunday in newspapers one finds matrimonial advertisements classified according to occupational categories or in the profiles of bride or groom. Job profile is mentioned or highlighted. Every day morning one crosses any junction in any city or town or passes through any size of marketplace. One comes across hordes of people assembled with basic equipments such as spades or bamboo baskets or sickles. At first look, this seems like a fair or mela, but if one spends even half an hour, one realizes that these are labor huts where labor contractors come and hire them for carrying out any kind of sundry jobs. How do we describe such instances? Does this mean that are we witnessing new kind of occupational structures in our new economy? Or has the new economy of India shifted its base from old traditional economy from rural areas to new type of economy which is more urban centric? A closer look at these instances reveals that there are many different issues intertwined, and for clearer understanding we need to highlight these issues. Is there a shift in Indian economy from farm based to non-farm economy? Does Indian economy has same contribution from the rural areas, or is that the urban areas have a bigger contribution to make than the rural areas? As a corollary, have the above factors led to change in the rural and urban occupational structures? Finally, in the light of new occupations, have perceptions of people changed with regard to old occupations? In the following, we will discuss the above issues to understand the new emerging occupational structures in new economy. Now let us discuss new Indian economy. Since mid 1991 in India, a wide range of economic reforms were carried out with the aim to liberalize and globalize the economy. Under this, both internal and international economic activity were deregulated and liberalized. Internal liberalization included the dismantling of a complex industrial licensing system, opening up to private investors a number of sectors previously reserved for the state, some disinvestment of stock in public sector, decontrol of administered prices, and financial liberalization. External liberalization measures included removal of non-tariff barriers to imports, reduction in import tariffs, incentive for foreign direct investment, and technology inflows, allowing Indian firms to borrow from abroad and opening up of Indian stock markets to foreign investors. These policy changes evoked a variety of responses, some based on a priori theoretical expectations and others citing the trickle of empirical evidence. Reform minded scholars view globalization as not only quickening growth but also promoting mass well being. They argue foreign competition and foreign direct investment will improve allocative and productive efficacy. For them, trade liberalization increases the demand for semi-skilled and unskilled labor, increase their wages and thereby reduce poverty and improve income distribution. Employment and wages are the major potential channels through which the social impact of increased openness and globalization are felt. One way of measuring total employment in India is to use available figures for the workforce and applying officially available unemployment figures from the formal sector and assuming that there is no open unemployment in the informal sector. Following this approach, it appears that while in the 1980s employment generally grew at a rate below population growth, in the 1990s employment growth was somewhat higher, though much of the increase occurred in 1997. The sectoral distribution of the workforce also reveals some surprises. The share of agriculture and allied sectors in total employment declined sharply from 63.9% in 1994 to 59.8% in 2000, with absolute employment declining for the first time since independence. This trend out of agriculture, which had been observed during the 1980s also, had been stale between 88 and 94. Mostly during early years of the reforms, employment in manufacturing has risen only slightly from 10.7% of the workforce in 94 to 11.1% in 2000, with practically all of the rise concentration in urban areas. The biggest gains in the workforce occurred in construction and in trade, hotels, and restaurants, the compound rate of growth in both sectors exceeding 6% per annum. The latter sector show rivals manufacturing in the size of the labor force it employs. An analysis of the unemployment reveals that for both rural men and women in the labor force, the rate of unemployment rose sharply. Urban male unemployment rose a little, while urban unemployment actually fell. Overall, then, the unemployment situation has worsened during the 1990s, especially in the rural areas. There has also been rising casualization of the workforce in the aftermath of reforms and a decline in the share of self-employment. The share of casual labor in employment rose from 31.2% in 1988 to 37.1% in 1991. While growing casualization is certainly in keeping with services, accounting for the major share of the workforce, increments. Even in the sectors of regular employment, retrenchment, closures, and lookouts have risen. Now let us wind up the session and take rest. Thank you very much for engaging yourself with a self-learning podcast.